today on WBOC News at 4.
After 11 months overseas, a father surprises his daughters at school. We'll show you the happy reunion in Talbot County.
Plus, a local member of the Greatest Generation recounts his story of invading the beaches of Normandy.
If you're like me, taking a look at the cameras from the beaches, you'll be jealous of everybody that's out there today. We'll get another chance to enjoy it as we head into the weekend. Details coming up.
Now, WBOC News at 4, Delmarva's news leader.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Hammond.
And I'm Karina Paiza. Welcome to WBOC News at 4. Well, it was Staff Sergeant Travis Jones's 4th deployment to the Middle East. He was gone for 11 months, but came home 73 days early.
And this morning, he surprised his daughters at a school assembly in Easton. WBOC's Midshore Bureau Chief Tyler Butler joining us in the Newsplex. Tyler, you were with Jones every step of the way for today's surprise.
Travis Jones has 2 daughters at Easton Elementary School. Sarah and Haley have been counting down every day he's been gone and how many days left until he came home. Today, they were in for the surprise of their lives as that countdown went from 73 days down to 0 right in front of their eyes. It's a moment that everyone in the Jones family has been waiting months for. The tears were flowing from both Daddy's little girls and even some of the other students and teachers. We caught up with Staff Sergeant Jones as he and his wife and family were hiding in the assistant principal's office before the big reveal. He told us he was ready to get out there and see his girls.
Waiting to see my girls. Surprise them. They've been waiting. They still think it's 70 some more days till I get home. We came home a little early, so I'm excited to see them.
The school staged an assembly to give the girls an award for their perseverance during their father's deployment. After a fake technical glitch with the assembly, the school called in a computer expert, and the girls got their first glimpse at their father in almost a year.
I just thought we were going to get the award, and that was it.
Got your daddy instead.
And just like Travis's wife Cindy told me, the daughters knew exactly how many days he'd been gone.
27. 327 days.
Good job.
Think.
Told you. Good job. She's my math kid. She's my math kid. 327 days. Haley can pinpoint it for us.
Once the gym had cleared out, the girls showed Dad how high they could climb on the ropes. They already have plans for the next few days as well.
Hang out and be together.
Yep.
Tomorrow we're going to go to a surprise breakfast. I'm not going away. We're all going to a surprise breakfast. Bet you can guess the
Please, IHOP!
Told you.
The Jones family back together after almost a year. And Jones was originally set to come home on Monday, but he got a surprise yesterday morning when they told him he would be coming home late Thursday night instead. The school pushed the program to today, and it went off without a hitch.
Awesome story. Thank you, Tyler. Well, 70 years ago today, more than 150,000 Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy by air and sea.
Offshore, the larger landing craft approached the beachhead slowly.
And so began the Allied invasion, a turning point in World War II. Thousands of soldiers died that day fighting for our freedom. And today, President Obama joined hundreds of American veterans in Normandy to mark the 70th anniversary of D-Day.
All right, Jerika Duncan has more on today's ceremonies.
F-15s roared above the American cemetery in Normandy, where thousands of veterans lost their lives on D-Day.
These men waged war so that we might know peace. They sacrificed so that we might be free. They fought in hopes of a day when we'd no longer need to fight.
President Obama and French President Francois Hollande laid a wreath to honor the sacrifice of more than 150,000 Allied troops when they stormed the beaches of Normandy on June 6, 1944. The president hugged veterans and thanked them for keeping America's commitment to liberty, equality, and freedom.
That claim is written in the blood on these beaches, and it will endure for eternity.
More than 9,000 U.S. soldiers are buried here at the American Cemetery. It overlooks Omaha Beach, the largest of 5 beaches Allied forces stormed on D-Day.
I hope I can help other people understand what we went through.
91-year-old Raleigh Daniel from Minneapolis parachuted into Normandy with the 82nd Airborne Division.
I first realized it was for real when I stepped across a dead German one time.
Daniel says Nazi Germany lost its grip on France because of the unrelenting determination of Allied forces. For decades, Daniel tried to block out the memories of war.
I just never dealt with it.
But he says coming back to Normandy 70 years later has helped him heal. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, Normandy.
Many veterans, and there are not many left, said that this would be their last trip to Normandy. But Daniel, who we just saw, at the age of 91, still plays tennis, softball, and golf. He says he will be going back to Normandy. Well, one of the thousands of people who stormed the beaches of Normandy 70 years ago today lives here on Delmarva.
Right. 90-year-old John Sauer of Berlin says he was just 19 when he took part in the invasion. Sauer says he remembers vividly the gate of the transport coming down and bullets began to fly. He says they killed all the men around him. Well, Sauer went on to say he reached the beach, but just 15 minutes later, he was struck with shrapnel in both his back and head. But for those 15 minutes, Sauer says he remembers trying to lay as still as possible.
They had these German group of infantry with scopes on their rifles, and if you moved, you were dead.
Wow. Sauer went on to say that it was a few days later when he was released from the hospital that he was part of liberating a concentration camp in Germany. Well, there are many unknown stories that come out of war, and one of those is the story of the Bedford boys. 19 lifelong friends, all from the town of Bedford, Virginia, were killed during the invasion. Today, a memorial was unveiled to honor their service. Congress established this memorial statue called Homage because the town suffered the greatest loss on D-Day.
19. One veteran in Normandy today to commemorate the anniversary took some time to do what he did on this day so many years ago. 93-year-old Jim Martin was a paratrooper with the 101st Airborne Division. 70 years ago, he parachuted into Normandy, and today he did the very same thing. Remember, he's 93. This time, though, he did it without German soldiers firing at him. Private Martin worked with the 101st up until the end of the war. He says he's grateful for the appreciation he's been shown, but he and his fellow comrades were simply doing what they were trained to do.
But I am kind of humbled and embarrassed at the adulation because I don't feel we did anything that we weren't supposed to do or anything exceptional.
Martin says although many of them were scared as they approached the beaches that day and ultimately touched down behind enemy lines, they were simply doing what they were trained to do regardless of their fears. He says that made the difference.
You know what? It seemed like a perfect 10 outside today. The
Yes,
sun
it
was
did.
shining, not a cloud in sight. Let's check in now with meteorologist Mike Lichtenyak. And Mike, we all want to know, will this sunshine be sticking around through the weekend?
Karina, not only will the sunshine be sticking around, but by the time we get around to Sunday, there's going to be a nice summer feel to the air. We'll have temperatures, especially across inland Delmarva, getting close to 90 degrees. Temperatures this afternoon into the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. We got to that magic number in Wallops Island. A live look at Storm Tracker radar is quiet. And for those of you wondering, that's the way it's going to stay over the next couple of days. We'll keep the low humidity around as we head through Saturday, though. Clouds will come with the humidity on Sunday before our next chance for showers and storms. We'll show you when that is coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Mike. In Wicomico County, students enrolled in the Magnet program for gifted learners at Pemberton Elementary will have to switch schools next year. Well, that's because the district decided to consolidate the program, offering it exclusively at North Salisbury Elementary. Officials say the change was needed, but some parents aren't happy, saying they were never made aware or given the chance to weigh in before the decision was made, and they have concerns.
Taking these measures to consolidate program devalues the role of advanced academic education for the best and brightest learners that we have in the county.
Being able to utilize the building more efficiently, being able to collaborate with the teachers, and also to address the financial situation of not being able to use Title I dollars at that building in the future. We want to address those issues.
By the way, tours of North Salisbury Elementary and its Magnet program are being offered to parents and students next Monday and Tuesday in Wicomico County. Well, Apple is still a few months away from releasing a new operating system, but there are some changes you might want to know about.
Still to come, what apps could go away with the new software and what cool new features will be added to your device. That's coming up next here on WBOC News at 4.
You're watching WBOC News at 4 with Steve Hammond, Karina Paiza, meteorologist Mike Lichniak, and Chopper 16, covering the entire peninsula for Delmarva's news leader.